So welcome to our latest Take a Seat interview. Really delighted to be joined by Margi. She's Civil Engineering Lecturer for the University of Dundee's Graduate Apprenticeship programme. And we've been working really hard with the university on a series of different things. And as most of you will know, we're absolutely wedded to graduate apprenticeships for business. It's really such an important thing. And so really looking forward to a conversation where we'll hear a little bit more about you and what you do. So Margi, tell me a little bit more about you. Where does your passion for engineering come from?
Well, first, thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be chatting to you about our graduate apprenticeships. So I am a civil structural engineer and I teach structural engineering on the graduate apprenticeship. And I think I've always had that passion for engineering. So my dad's an engineer as well. So, you know, I've always been exposed, I guess, to that engineering world. And I've always loved solving problems. And I think what probably really drew me in is the creativity of engineering and the ability to really create a legacy. I mean, what could be more amazing than driving past something and saying, you know, I had a part in building that or designing that.
Brilliant. And so you're leading me very nicely on to my next question. So we ask everybody what they like best about what they do. And is there a story to that? So tell us a bit about yours.
So, yeah, I really love lecturing. And I think what I like most about it is you get people coming in. Now, our graduate apprenticeships, obviously, they work alongside studying. So they all know something about engineering, but usually it's quite narrow to do with their work. And you get to expose them to all these different things that exist. And I think probably the best thing about it is that, you know, that light bulb moment, you know, where you're talking to somebody and they're maybe not getting it and you try again, and sometimes classmates come in and then, you know, the person just gets it and you just see it in their faces. And I think that's probably the best thing about what I do.
That's really nice. I mean, I know you can see yourself on screen too, but I can see just how much you light up when you talk about that. So that's really lovely. That's super nice to see. We're talking to everybody about you know, their experience and how they got into the role they're in, and then I'm going to come along with some of my more slightly off the wall personal questions. But what led you to joining the graduate apprenticeship programme at the university locally?
So I really think that this is the future. As I said before, I'm a structural engineer. I worked in industry. And after working in industry, I joined as a lecturer on a regular degree. And then when the opportunity came to join the graduate apprenticeship degree, I just jumped on it because I honestly believe that that is a fantastic model for how we teach in the future. And for me, it marries between my industry experience. So I'm still exposed to industry. I still get to talk to people in industry, but also my passion for lecturing. So that's great. And I think it is the future, really, because it is fully funded, as you know, and it gives employers the opportunity to either upskill current members of their workforce or take on new members and introduce them to their workforce. They get an honours degree when they finish, and it's really easy to access. So, you know, no complicated paperwork. We've made sure of that, you know. Who likes paperwork? And we have 5 different programs. So they really cover a variety of options. We have IT management for business, IT software development, business management, engineering design and manufacturing, and of course, you know, civil engineering, which is my thing. And the students, I think, really benefit because they get to study 1 day a week and then they work in their companies for the extra 4. So, you know, I kind of really see this as the future, getting your work experience and your degree at the same time, not getting into a lot of debt. I mean, perfect, right?
Absolutely. And you and a lot of our audience will be way too young to remember. So I'm showing my age here when I talk about day release. So I didn't go to university, but I joined a bank when I left school, and I was lucky to get offered the opportunity to do bank exams, and it was day release, and it's very similar. Yeah, if I'd been offered a university degree, I know I would have jumped at it. So yeah, things do come back around, don't they? I think.
Yeah. It's a good one to come around.
I would agree. So tell us a little bit more about yourself then. So what is your favourite time of the year and why?
Ooh, that's tricky. So I love the winter just because of that festive feeling and everybody gearing up, getting excited. But I also really love the summer because of the sunshine. You probably can see now the sunshine through my window. And I really like the summer as well because I feel it's a really good time, especially for us at university, to kind of take stock, reevaluate, just before a new cohort comes in, reevaluate what's going well, what isn't going well, but in a more relaxed manner. I can take a bit of time as well and enjoy my family. So, summer.
And we're kind of recording this as we're now coming out of the mostly restrictions, and it's been an odd year. I've talked to everybody, and for a while we didn't have so many restrictions, but we've been back really knee deep in it again, haven't we? So what is the thing that you've missed most while we've had these kind of lockdown restrictions?
I think it's probably going to be social interaction. I really miss meeting people face to face. I think we've all become quite good at this kind of video calling and chatting like this. And, it's great because I have to say I get to meet people who I probably wouldn't meet, just because of distance. And I think until lockdown, we were less, or perhaps we were more reluctant to just pick up the phone and talk to people that we didn't know. So I think that it's opened a few new things, but I just really miss friends, family. And even this conversation we're having now, I would have loved to meet over coffee somewhere and had this same discussion.
I know. It's true. I think everybody is kind of hankering for that. Well, you can't currently get in many beer gardens for a good number of weekends. So I think I think we're all really looking forward to that, aren't we? And so, just thinking back to what you do and the graduate apprenticeship programme more generally, it's an amazing resource for employers. And I've talked in other circumstances about the fact that as a business, we've really embraced apprenticeships full stop. But there's obviously no upper age limit on the graduate apprenticeship programme. So what kind of feedback have you had from employers so far?
So far, we've had just really positive employer feedback. And I think the great thing about employers starting with us now is that this is all relatively new. And we welcome feedback from employers, and we would love employers to influence how we do things. So it's been really great having those discussions. We try to meet up with employers and the students around 3 times a year just to catch up and see what's going well. So it's been great to catch up and get the feedback. I think probably some of the main things that I can take from the discussions with employers is that it's been a great opportunity to upskill some of their really talented existing staff, perhaps staff who, as you mentioned, are a bit older, have responsibilities, which means they can't just drop everything and, go for a full-time degree, but obviously have the skill, have the talent, have the experience to finish an honours degree. So I think that's been a great opportunity for upskilling, but I think it's also been a great opportunity for them to take younger people, the younger workforce, and build the confidence and give them the experience and get these young people really kind of integrated into their companies. So I think from both those aspects, the younger students and the slightly older students, it's just been really positive so far.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything in particular that the apprentices have talked to you about in terms of the experience that they are getting?
So I think probably one of the great things is that they get to continue working. So they have their work. A lot of what we do is about them reflecting on their work, or maybe taking things from their work and using as case studies to further their engineering knowledge. So I think that has been a very positive thing. You get to kind of slightly step outside, broaden your engineering experience and knowledge step slightly outside that little project that you're working on and look at it more holistically. I think it's also been a great experience for them to meet engineers from different companies, you know, because hearing about different roles, and in a lot of cases, it's getting appreciation for those roles. So as a structural engineer, you know, we would always have a bit of a tussle with a project manager, you know, and I think actually by getting to meet each other and seeing what, you know, the limitations are for each person on their role has probably been quite an eye-opening experience for them.
Yeah. If you could share the best piece of advice you've ever received, what would it be and why? I
think it would probably be along the lines of don't be scared or don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take initiative, to grab an opportunity, to ask questions. You know, I think sometimes we fear about people maybe looking down at us or thinking that we're not knowledgeable enough, and to stand up for what you believe in. And I've tried this year especially to really embrace that, and actually some of the initiatives that I've been involved in, I feel are making a difference. But you know what, it's taken me a while to be in that stage where I'm not afraid to stand up and voice my opinion. So you need to build on it, but probably building towards that was the best bit of advice I got.
Brilliant. And when we're more freely able to get out and about, what's on the top of your lockdown escape bucket list?
Anywhere that isn't my home, you know, and the 5 miles around it. I think, to be honest, you know, we mentioned social interaction before. Anywhere where I could meet up with friends, have a picnic, sit outside, see their faces, hear their voices.
That's a great answer. I really like that. Have you got a message for people out there about the things you've learned yourself about the world of work and business?
I think probably actually a few things that I would share with anybody kind of going into it. And this is from my experience. You know, I've worked in a research setting. I then worked in the oil and gas industry, and then back into academia in a different research and lecturing setting. And I think probably some of the things I would share are setting goals. You know, have a plan. Things just don't magically fall into, at least in my experience, they don't magically fall into place. It's good to have a plan. The plan might not always work, but having a goal to work to, I think, is really important. Finding a good mentor or a number of good mentors, I think, is important. I've really benefited from mentors throughout working both in industry and in academia. And I don't just have one, you know, I have different ones that are there for different needs, I guess. And that's always really helped me, especially now during the pandemic, where there are times where you feel so isolated. Just having that person that you can bounce ideas off or express your stress in a safe environment is really important. I would always recommend networking. Meet other people, do your CPD, don't limit yourself, get out there. It's hard sometimes walking into a room when you don't know people. Easier maybe now when we're all online, but you know, go out there, put yourself out there, because the people you meet, you never know where opportunities come from. And probably the last thing which is relevant to engineers would be to join professional bodies, you know, and get the network in that way as well.
Yeah, I think that's very true, isn't it? And often people are nervous about networking because they think everybody else that's there knows everybody, loves networking, and most people are in exactly the same situation, which is, oh God, what if no one will talk to me, or I don't, you know, I can't find the people that are, you know, will be welcoming. So yeah, absolutely. It can feel like quite an intimidating thing, but it's just so valuable. The people that you meet will pass on your details to others, and yeah, just got to be interested in others, don't you? Which is that's
I totally relate to everything you're saying.
Yeah, but it's nice to hear it from your world because it's so important in our world too. But yeah, I like that. And just as we're finishing up then, so tell us a little bit more about the engineering event that you've got coming up in May. How can people find out a bit more?
So yeah, I'm really excited about this. As you can see, any opportunity to talk about engineering, call me, I'll be there. So I'm really excited about the event. So, you know, restrictions are easing up, we're thinking towards the future a bit more, and this is just a great time to start thinking about investing in your workforce, looking to the year ahead. It'll be all around engineering. So we've got the design, manufacturing and civil engineering. As we mentioned before, no additional cost. So great opportunity. I would definitely recommend coming to the event. You'll hear from our apprentices, employers that are on the scheme, and you'll hear firsthand, so, you know, from the horse's mouth, exactly how it is, what it entails, what the benefits are, and perhaps also some of the feedback, you know, that we'll get. Wayne Paul, who's our industrial liaison officer, will be there to kind of take everybody through exactly what they need to do to register interest. I'll be there along with some of my engineering colleagues, and you can find out all you need to know about the programme, how it can help you develop your talent, boost your performance and grow your business, you know, something that I'm sure we're all interested in. So yeah, please do sign up for the event. You can just search it on our graduate apprenticeship website at Dundee and search for events and it'll be there. Or perhaps we can add a link to this when we finish.
Yeah, definitely. I was just going to say we'll put a link in and make sure that when we're sharing it, we include that link as well. So yeah, well, Margi, thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting. I've really enjoyed our chat, and thank you so much to everybody that's watched us. We do share these Take a Seat interviews on our YouTube channel, and they go out on social media as well. So thanks so much for watching, and thank you to you for coming on. It's been super interesting. And I hope that the summer is everything that you want it to be.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you.